Welcome to today's POWERTRAIN. Everything is on fire in the month of August, and today's POWERTRAIN is no exception. I'm Phil with IntelliFran. If you don't know who I am or you don't know who we are, that's my fault. We are the only company in the United States who works with and provides operational support from lead generation all the way through helping you sell your weight loss operation. We're the only company in the country that works exclusively with weight loss companies and weight loss offerings. We work with physicians, chiropractors, and franchise investors who own and operate weight loss centers or have weight loss as a ancillary service in their practice. You can click us, call us, message us, send us a carrier pigeon, whatever you want to do. There's 12 ways to reach us. Just send us a message and we'll set up a time to chat. We can't help everybody, but about a third of the people that reach out to us, we're a good fit for. And if we're not a good fit for you, we can probably refer you to someone that might be a better fit to provide you with whatever guidance you're looking for. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about two things really. What makes for a successful operator of a weight loss operation, whether it's a franchise or otherwise, and that kind of holds the same path for any small business. But at the same time, we're going to speak specifically about one individual. Her name is Donna Krech, D-O-N-N-A, and Krech, K-R-E-C-H, Krech. I want you to look her up. I want you to be a friend of hers on Facebook. I want you to follow her. I want you to listen to what she does. I want you to hear what she has to say. I want you to read what she writes. It may not be your cup of tea for everything, but I'm pretty sure if you are on any kind of destinational track to want to be successful in this business or in a lot of things for that matter, you will buy what she's selling in terms of you will embrace the message that she conveys on all platforms. So before I get into why I think Donna is so wonderful, fantastic, and amazing, let me talk to you about a few of the elements I've observed in working with some very successful people in the weight loss space. Now, let me give you my perspective on this. I've had the opportunity to work side by side, hour after hour, day after day, week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year, through good times, bad times, successful expansions, retractions, contractions, wars, good economies, bad economies, with two founders of two national weight loss companies that ultimately end up owning three national weight loss companies that I had the chance to, basically they paid me to sit and learn how to do what it is they do. And which you always used to kind of tickle me. I'm thinking, man, I'm getting paid all this jack to sit here and take notes and figure out what you do, and you're teaching me you made millions doing the exact same thing you're asking me to do. So I embodied and observed and absorbed as much as I could. I separated out the things that I was willing to do versus the things I wasn't, and I've managed to accumulate a few million in this business as well, which isn't that difficult. I'm not saying that as a matter of specialty. If you just follow some of the patterns, you observe some of the successful people and just borrow, steal, and copy what they're doing. I don't care if you're brand new in this business or you've been in it for 30 years already. There are things you can glean from other people in this business. The first one is, I've noticed the people that do the best in this business make the most noise. Now, it may not be them directly, but in this age of social media, I'll say now it's he or she who can make the most noise, get the most attention. And by that I mean they've got to be on all platforms, both traditional and non-traditional. Somehow, some way, they've got to be out there and in front and let everybody know who they are. There's a lot of people that will tell you you're nothing in this marketing age without your haters. Until you've accumulated a whole bunch of people that hate you, that can't stand you, that want to trash talk you on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or wherever it might be. So I've noticed the people that seem to do the best are the ones that make the most splash, that make the most noise, that have the largest footprint, or at least the perception of that footprint. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be the face of the organization. You could just have the organization itself be the face, but there's a lot of people where they're the face of the organization. Hint, hint, Donna's one of them. The second thing is absolute passion for what they're doing. that they would rather eat what we're doing and breathe what we're doing as opposed to eat food or breathe oxygen. They'd rather work all day in this business as opposed to sleeping through this business. One thing that I noticed, especially with the two founders that I worked for, it always cracked me up. People would always say, when's enough enough? And it was always people that didn't have as much as they did. And I'm pretty sure the circle of people they hang out with or used to hang out with who had even more than they did, they're thinking to themselves, man, I want to have what that person has. So it's one thing when you're making $30,000 a year or even $100,000 a year or a couple $100,000 a year. You're looking at the dude pulling down $1 million or $2 million a year, or maybe has accumulated 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 million, and you're thinking, when is enough enough? Well, for them, it's never enough. They're chasing a bigger dream. It's because they have a passion about it. I got to tell you, Donna's got a passion for it. The other part of it is compassion. An absolute compassion outside of the business. I know when one of the companies that I was affiliated with, the founder insisted that for every new location we opened up, that we adopted a feed the family type of person in a foreign country or somewhere in the United States, where we were donating, the company was donating money. The people that ran the operation, ran the local additional location, would add their own adopted person. We had some locations where they took it upon themselves to adopt as many people as they could. You'd walk in and there'd be a wall of 10 or 20 kids that were writing letters saying thank you for the donations that were being made. Another guy that I worked with, he always kept his compassion a secret. One of the most religious, one of the most faithful men I've ever met, one of the most honest people I've ever met, although he's got his critics that I don't really think can see what it is he's doing. But I'm convinced when he passes to the great beyond, he's going to leave absolutely millions and millions to some charity somewhere, and his great works will just begin after he's passed on from here. But a tremendous amount of compassion for a number of things that it would be divulging some confidences, I think, if I were to talk about what those are. So they made noise. They have a passion for what we're doing. They have compassion. And then the last part of this was they all had a plan. They had a strategy to constantly be in a state of growth. That no matter what was going on, they needed to be in some state of growth. They weren't always in that. They may have been thinking that, but they weren't always exercising that. But it was part of the way they would think. So let's talk about Donna. First of all, I need to give you a little history on Donna. And I happen to know this in great detail because years and years and years and years ago, I emceed a huge meeting that we were having with one of the weight loss brands that I ultimately ended up running. And I don't know, there were 1,500, 2,000 people in the room. There were probably only 1,000, but in my mind, it seemed like there were a couple thousand. So let's go with that. A couple thousand people in the room, and we had lined up speakers throughout a 2-day event for this meeting. We had gathered up all of our offices, all the ownership, all the local managers, the staff, everybody. In fact, I remember one person in particular, she drove for 24 hours with a brand new staff member from Myrtle Beach, or from Daytona Beach, just to get to the meeting. And was only able to stay for one day, spent 24 hours driving there straight through, went to the meeting for day one, and then drove back day two because she had to be back in the center by the end of business on Monday. So at this meeting, it was my honor to introduce Donna. She was speaking. And here was Donna's story. Donna worked for our company, but decided she wanted to own her own franchise. So she was working in one of the franchise locations, and she was watching what was going on. Now, this is a woman who had been a deli counter clerk at Kroger's, not even the deli, the fish counter clerk at Kroger's, their local grocery store, before doing this, and worked part-time in the center. Well, she saw what was going on and saw how people were connecting with her and saw how the revenues were being generated. And she did the math and thought, you know what, I got to find a way to own one of these. So she went to her brother and if I recall the story correctly, her brother, her half-brother, and her stepbrother, who all had accomplished some things on their own and borrowed money from them and said, I will pay you back within a matter of months. Well, I remember speaking to her half-brother, I believe, a guy named Ted, and Ted said, you know what, I kissed that money goodbye. I figured she had had a rough time of it, and I would just give her that money and I would probably never see it again, and end of story. Lo and behold, Donna Grand's open, pays back everyone in her family, if I recall the story correctly, at the end of the second week she was open. When I recall Ted's recollection of all this, he sat and marveled at the fact that he got a check in the mail within 2 weeks of the time she grand opened, with some interest, with a thank you note for helping her get open. He immediately and ultimately bought 6 of these locations. He was one of the biggest franchisees that I had the honor to train and work with and help manage his facilities in Tennessee, in the Tri-Cities area of Tennessee. But Donna continued to have success after success after success. Every time I had a contest, her center in Lima, Ohio would win the contest. It didn't matter what the contest was. It could have been a who can hold your breath the longest contest. Donna's team would win because she had them fired up. They were making noise. They were passionate about what they were doing. They were compassionate about how they approached it, and they had a strategy to accomplish it. We'd just win challenge after challenge, contest after contest. It just never ended. Well, Donna started to get her own ideas on how the company should grow. And it didn't line up with how our company was growing. And I remember, as I noted earlier this morning, when she left, there was all kinds of distraction and confusion in our corporate office. Oh my gosh, Donna's leaving. Who does she think she is? She's probably going to go start her own thing. She can't do that. We have a non-compete. Blah, 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 blah. Let's jump ahead a little bit of time. Next thing I know, Donna's open and has 3 or 4 locations and is absolutely killing our brand in the area she was in, the geography that she was in. She absolutely put us out of business because she made a lot of noise. Everybody knew who she was and what her brand was. They were compassionate about the weight loss business. They were passionate about the way they help people, and they had a strategy for growth that they were using as a guideline. I remember specifically finding out that she was making so much noise in her radio commercials and her TV spots, and the way she approached it, she was basically screaming on her radio spots, and the link to her locations should be in whatever you're watching this on. You can see it for yourself. She was making so much noise that the local radio stations were making fun of her. I mean, make fun of me all day long if you want. That's free advertisement. So Donna put this program together that grew successfully, that grew rapidly, that was highly profitable, and she was able to change with the times as the weight loss industry demanded she make those changes. While all this was going on, the brand I was affiliated with, or I was no longer at that point, started to crumble and fall apart. It was in a state of being sold. And that's why I got canned from there. They were lining it up to sell and had to lighten up the balance sheet a little bit, so let a bunch of us higher paid people go, and eventually sold it. And I had a chance to run it years later to revive it on many levels. But Donna continued to grow and build and grow and build. Well, Donna now has, 20, 25 locations. She has licensed locations around the country, Canada, the United States. She's almost coast to coast. She's in New Jersey. She's in California. She's in small town. She's in big town. She's in Brentwood, California, for God's sakes, the home of O.J. Simpson. She's in tiny little towns like Lima, Ohio, and even tinier towns, but they're exceptionally and extremely, you can just tell by the way they're interacting with the public. They're an extremely successful brand, a very extremely successful organization. It's called Thin and Healthy. Some of those licensees, I believe, have bought the program and have it within their gym or their workout facility. So they're combining a lot of those aspects, but it is an incredibly successful, well thought out brand. Now, the other thing I want you to do is, if you become a friend of hers on Facebook, I spent a little bit of time this morning reviewing some of the things that she has in there, and I was actually brought to tears. She has a number of people. It's kind of funny to see her list of the people that are on the team. They're all former people from Form U3 weight loss centers that have been with her for 20 some years now. But to see the compassion she has for these people, one person in particular that, and I won't go into a lot of detail about it, but one person in particular that I had a chance to work with years ago who's been side by side with her was in a horrible accident last month. And you see how Donna has chronologically memorialized the event and her recovery, and you just see this incredible loving person and compassionate person. It's not only extended to her business, but through her personal life. And while all this was going on, Donna had another element that I see always exists with successful people in this business, any business for that matter, but successful people. While all these things are going on, she's faced life-threatening diseases. Her husband's been through, had to chase down a solution to cancer 4 times. And a host of other things have gone on. Like, we all have stuff that goes on, but not everyone has stuff going on, and you're trying to build a business or maintain a business and meet payroll and grow your business and do all these other things that I've had the opportunity to watch Donna and so many other people do successfully. But we're using Donna as a bit of a beacon today that I want you to gravitate. You're going to find, we've talked about other locations, we've talked about other people, but I want you to find some people that you can gravitate towards, that you may say, hey, Phil, I want our center to do what that center does. Can you help us with that? Sure, I'm sure if it's not me, if I'm not your coach, one of the coaches on our team can help you out with that. So I want you to check out Thin and Healthy. I know some of you are also looking for a new brand to embrace. Hey, you may want to check that one out. But check out Donna. Follow Donna and her family. Her husband John is a great guy. I used to work with him corporately. He sold all of our franchises and did an incredible job. In fact, John and a guy named Wally were 2 of the reasons why our brand was ranked one year 15th fastest growing corporation in America. I got a chance to cut my teeth on grand openings initially with that, and then subsequently afterwards grand opening new locations. But at the same time, the whole industry went through contraction, and we were able to rally through that. Donna took a lot of those ideas, those skill sets, those experiences and exposures, and has turned it into something wonderful, fantastic, and amazing. So our star for today is Donna Krech of Thin and Healthy Weight Loss Centers. I hope you got something from this. I hope you follow up and become a fan of Donna's, or at least a follower of her company, and you can glean some things from her. I know she's got, I think, 6 or 7 other companies. She does some motivational speaking and some other things. So check out what Donna might be able to do to help positively influence your business. It's all about borrowing, stealing, copying, emulating some people that are out there. Have a great day.
Let's go.